Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite online collaboration tools, Google Jamboard. Now, especially if you're in a remote or distance learning situation, it's often hard to have students collaborate in real time. But this makes it simple, easy, and it's free to anyone who has a Google Drive account. So let's take a look at how this collaboration got set up, and maybe you can start thinking about your own in your own classroom. So first things first, if I was on the Google homepage, I see 9 dots, which is my waffle. If I click on that, I see my Google Tools, and you may need to scroll down, but you should see Jamboard listed. Now, if for some reason I don't have that link, I could type jamboard.google.com. Now, in my Jamboard account, I've already started some jams here. You notice here's the one from earlier. But we're going to start over from the beginning, and I'll show you how to make a quick Jamboard and also how to share it out with your students. So down in the lower right corner, I see a plus. It says New Jam. This will give you a new piece of paper if you press on it. And I like to think about them as pieces of paper, much like my whiteboard in my classroom, or maybe a large piece of poster paper that students would write on in class. Now, I do have the ability to just share a blank board with my students, but I find it can be helpful to add a few tools or directions before I do that. So for example, if I wanted students to tell me about themselves, tell me about yourself, include your name and a photo of something important to you. Of course, I can change the color, what students love to do. Now that these directions are here, I can remove where they are on the screen. I could delete it, I could duplicate it, I could edit it. So you can decide what you need for your class. I also have the ability on the left-hand side to add an image, a shape, just text. I also have a pen tool and an eraser. So you may want to take some time to do that as well. Now, if you had multiple classes that you were going to have do the same project, you can also create a new frame here and add some additional projects for maybe period 2 or period 3. Just another idea to kind of keep straight your different classes, or if you had a second activity and a third activity to go along with it, they could be on different frames, much like we say a different piece of paper. Now, to share your Jamboard with students, you're simply sharing a link. And you'll want to check your share settings. That's the number one troubleshooting issue that happens, is maybe we forget to share it with everyone in our district. And so students get blocked out and then you get 100 emails. So you'll want to make sure your students can see it and copy that link. When students have that link, you could share that in email, maybe in Zoom, maybe you could post it to your Google Classroom. Students will open that link in their own tab, and they all have the ability to be in it at the same time. You'll notice this jam looks identical whether I'm the editor or the viewer. So now all students have the ability to edit. So they would be adding their own photos, their images, their sticky notes, whatever you as the teacher decide. But the nice thing is, especially with images, is that students can do a Google search right in Jamboard. If maybe you're doing some sort of brainstorm, or like this task ask a photo of something important, students could include that, and then they have some additional options as well. And maybe they decide they want to add a text box and type below it, or they could even add a sticky note. I love mountains. And as students are adding these things, most of at least your sticky notes will appear in the top left corner. So sometimes students, I instruct them to move them out of the way as they come in. And it's always best practice to ask students not to touch anything on the screen that doesn't belong to them. Now, when the class is done collaborating, I might want to name this jam so I have access to it again. And Google has auto-saved this if I'd want to collaborate anymore. But let's say I just want to capture our work and maybe post it online somewhere, maybe for absent students or so we can reference later. I simply need to click the three dots, and then I have some options here. Download as a PDF, or I can save the image as a frame. So that go ahead and locks in that picture, and then later I can insert it into other things, and it's all saved and ready for me. There you go. So I hope that tutorial gives you a few ideas. Jamboard is, like I said, great for brainstorming in small groups, collaborating, get to know you activities. I love Jamboard, and it's very simple and easy to do with your classes, and I hope you give it a try soon.